Hey everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. I come with great news. The oil and gas industry, fossil fuels, is dying. It is going down. It is wandering corpse-like through a fucking desert. It is awesome. All right, this is great news. I know it means that our lives are continuing to change dramatically in a short period of time, which can be upsetting in many ways, but this is great. Okay, and I came to you a few months ago, with a video of Jim Cramer saying that the oil industry was done, was going down, was fading. He said, don't invest in it anymore. I think the writing's on the wall. And Jim Cramer is a piece of shit, but in this case, he was absolutely right. And now the pandemic has sped up that process. A new report was released Thursday by the Center for International Environmental Law, CIEL, a policy research and advocacy group. And that report is showing that really the writing's on the wall. That report is showing that the oil and gas, the game is up. And they are now trying desperately to appear to be okay, to appear to be doing well. And they're doing that in a few ways. This article on Common Dreams says recent efforts by oil and gas giants to project an outward appearance of financial stability amid the COVID-19 pandemic by selling off their assets or accumulating debt to continue paying out steady shareholder dividends represents strong evidence that the fossil fuel industry has reached its end game and should not be bailed out with taxpayer dollars. Basically, they are selling assets. They are, going into debt in order to keep sending out dividends to stockholders and say, look, everything's fine. We're doing great, okay? It's going to be cool. Please don't pull your money out of our stocks. And we're talking, these are big stocks, right? This is Exxon, this is Shell, this is BP, this is Chevron, all the super villains of this planet that tell you to invest in them. Listen, for the longest time, the investors, financial analysts who don't give a fuck about whether you're investing in something horrible or not have always said, yeah, put your money in oil and gas. It ain't going nowhere. It's only going up. Just keep dumping your money into those stocks. Well, now it is the opposite. If you have any sense, you will get your fucking money out of fossil fuels. Not just because they are fading, they are going belly up, as even cutthroat corporatists like Jim Cramer have said on CNBC. He said they were like the tobacco industry, meaning people kept investing in it despite the fact that they could see that the truth was coming out about the harm of cigarettes. Well, same thing is happening right now with oil and gas, but it's even worse than just people realizing that oil and gas is killing us, that it's killing the planet, that it's killing the environment. It's worse than just that. It is also the fact that due to the pandemic, we are not traveling as much. We're not flying as much. We're not driving as much. And this is kind of putting the final nail in the coffins for oil and gas. Really, let's be honest. Let's not exaggerate. It's not the final nail. It's like the first three nails. That top corner of the coffin is now they've got that kind of nailed down. It's not the last nail. We'll probably be putting in some finishing touches on that coffin for a while, unfortunately. But this report is another key sign that there ain't much time left. There's a dead man walking. Wait, how could it be a dead man walking if he's already in the coffin and we've nailed it? Okay, we're building the coffin, but he's still walking. So there's a dead guy wandering around, and we're like, let's get to work on the coffin. I mean, he's dead. He's just walking around, and we're like, all right, yeah, okay. And we're like, should we put him in the coffin? I don't know. Let him stretch his legs a little bit. He's going to be in here for a long time. So yeah, let him keep walking. But the report further says that the pandemic has thrown oil markets into turmoil and has forced the industry to reckon with the fundamental unsustainability of oil and gas company finances and exposed the steady decline behind the industry's steady dividends. And we've also seen this in some other breaking news that has just come out, that Dominion and Duke Energy, which I covered this on Redacted tonight, Dominion and Duke Energy have canceled their $8 billion Atlantic Coast Pipeline. This is a massive project that they have been working on for years, and protesters have stood up and tried to stop it, and pipeline protesters have done an incredible job of forcing these fucking, dick twats, is that a thing? These dick twats to keep going through lawsuit after lawsuit to try and get this pipeline put in, which every pipeline leaks, so this pipeline destroys people's water, their land, their air, not to mention climate change. So we finally got to the point, just in the past couple of weeks, that Duke Energy and Dominion Energy have withdrawn. They just say they've given up. They've thrown up their hands and said, we can't fucking finish this pipeline. And here's the calculation they're making. This is a multiple billion-dollar pipeline that they have to put out. They have to lay out that amount of money in order to get back the money that they save and make by the oil going through the pipeline. So it's an investment. They invest in the pipeline infrastructure to then make that money from the oil that they sell. But because oil and gas is doing so poorly now, they don't know that pipeline's going to be useful. They don't know there's going to be a lot of oil, especially fracked gas, which fracked gas is now no longer profitable at all. I mean, apparently it's supposed to be at around $60 a barrel for fracked gas to be profitable, and we're way below that right now. So fracked gas isn't profitable. That means these pipelines are going to be useless. That means if they were to continue with the pipeline, they would be investing billions of dollars and not getting any return. So we, activists, protesters, people who fucking hate this shit, have basically just made it unsustainable for these oil companies to put in these multiple billion-dollar pipelines. And they're throwing up their hands. They're waving the white flag. They're like, fuck it. We can't, fuck the pipeline. So it's a huge victory on so many levels. And so to go back to our analogy, if this is a dead man walking and you're trying to stop him from walking because we want to stop fossil fuels, now is the time to fucking kick him and attack him and go after him. All right? Don't let him walk around. That was the guy building the coffin. He'll let the guy walk around, but not you. You and me have to, now is the time to really amp up this fight and make it more and more difficult for fossil fuels to destroy our futures, to destroy the future of fucking humanity. I know it sounds ridiculous to even say that, like, oh yeah, this is the future of humanity will be decided in the next few years. But it really fucking will. Because there's only a few years left before the point of no return for climate change, so now is the time. If you want to do it, now is the time to stop the fossil fuel industry. I mean, these are some of the biggest corporations in the world, and they are struggling big time. They're going into debt. Major brands like Exxon, Mobil, and Shell, and BP, and Chevron, they're struggling. They're going into debt. They're trying to keep their model going, and their model is over. It is an antiquated worldview, all right? It is someone who's fucking trying to sell you a VHS tape. The only problem is right now, a fair amount of the world still runs on VHS tapes in this new analogy that I've started working on. So they're still pushing the VHS tapes. We're all looking at them like, are you fucking crazy? Who watches VHS? But in this analogy, you stick the VHS in your cars, and some cars are still going on VHS. We really got to get away from that. We really got to find cars that run on Betamax. No. Streaming cars. Netflix cars. Should have abandoned this earlier. So another reason this is such a big moment is that basically there were two things that kept fossil fuels going, all right? There was the amount of money that the rich assholes were making in it, and the fact that it was just an easy way to run things for humanity and get everything, keep the fucking cars going and planes and everything, and so it was useful. So you had those two things. And then the useful things started to fade because all of a sudden it's destroying our ability to survive, right? A few years left. We're suffocating in fucking greenhouse gas emissions. So this one started to crumble, but this one was still going. These rich assholes are still making tons of money from it. So they were like, we don't care if we destroy humanity. We're still making a fuckload of money. Well, now this one's crumbling. And then you've got nothing left. All right? And we're at that place where the rich assholes are trying their hardest to put But to keep it going, to put the plug the dike, is that an expression? To put the hole, plug the dike's hole. I think I said that expression wrong. But they're trying to keep it going, and we need to make sure it stops. We need to make sure they understand that this is both not good for humanity and not good for their pocketbooks. Yes, I picture them all with pocketbooks. I mean, for God's sakes, half the world is on fire. The Amazon is burning. Arizona is burning, all right? The California is burning. The world is catching on fire, and we can't keep using fossil fuels. It's not to mention my balls are sticking to my leg way more than they used to, okay? If for no other reason, can we just agree that it was more pleasurable to be on Earth when your balls weren't sticking to your fucking leg? Is that too much to ask? Here's another question for you. Where the fuck has the mainstream media been on this, huh? Where are they talking about this fucking new report? Saying that fossil fuels is collapsing. Where are they? Oh, that's right. They're funded by fossil fuels, right? That's where their ad dollars come from. They can't question the almighty dollar that funds the fucking networks. So you might see a little report here on Exxon, or a little report there on fossil fuels, a little here, a little there. But where is the fucking wall-to-wall coverage of the fact that not only is it killing us, not only is humanity fading, not only are all the species going fucking extinct, but also it's not even a profitable industry anymore. We subsidize it with our tax dollars. Our government pays to keep the fossil fuel industry as this massive dark cloud, literally, over all of us. We are funding our own demise. The amount that fossil fuels is subsidized is trillions of fucking dollars, okay? So we, the taxpayers, pay the government to then pay oil and gas to kill us. That is the cycle we live in. And our mainstream media, not a mention, right? No, you can't. No one ever asks where CNN's funding comes from, do they? That's not the question of every interview with CNN, not the question of every interview with Rachel Maddow. Oh, it comes from big oil. So maybe we won't talk a lot about big oil. We have to stop the lawmakers from giving away the subsidies. We have to stop the brand names from being viewed as positive. Chevron and all of them running with little Black Lives Matter ads. You don't give a shit about black lives. You're killing black lives. You're killing brown lives. You're killing white lives. You're killing all the lives. All the lives are going to be dead because of you. You're even killing people with fur. I don't mean people, but animals. The CIEL senior attorney, Stephen Feit, said to continue to throw money at an industry that is not only causing environmental destruction, but also facing economic decline is as imprudent as it is indefensible. Yes, it's imprudent. That is a far kinder way to phrase that than I would have been involved. Imprudent. I was just going to say, you guys are fucking twat bags. But imprudent works too. All right, fine. Be a nice guy. See how that goes for you. That's been your moment of clarity. Many of you already know, but I have a brand new podcast with Graham Elwood called Government Secrets. I hope you'll look it up and listen to it for free wherever you get your podcasts. Government Secrets with Lee Camp and Graham Elwood. Also, thanks to the 80,000 people who have now watched my comedy special free on YouTube. It's at the channel youtube.com/Moment of Clarity, where you may be watching this. Totally free to watch. 80,000 of you. Thank you guys. That's really awesome. I'm I'm touched. I'm just touched that you love me that much. It's so cool. I mean, not all of you. Some of you gave it a thumbs down because you fucking douchebags. But most of you gave it a thumbs up. It's at LeeCampAmerican.com. You can watch it for free. All right. Keep fighting.